In this example, we will start out with an HTML table, and this is one of the good things about JSP that was missing in JavaScript. In JavaScript, if you start out an HTML tag and you go into JavaScript, it doesn't remember the things that have been done before. Similarly, JavaScript cannot remember stuff between the two JavaScript tags. For example, if you did something in this script and you did some HTML down below here, and then you continue with the script again, now this script will going to start brand new, will not be in relationship with this. But in JSP, what you can do is, let's say if I have an if condition, I do something here in JSP, then I break out in HTML, I can then do the rest of the stuff in JSP and close my curly braces here, and it will remember that from here to here is the body of if condition. Okay, so that's one of the things that you will see a lot working with JSP, is that scriptlets are far advanced. So here in scriptlets, this is how you're going to go in scriptlets. Start out with a scriptlet. You may finish a scriptlet in between, and then you will start out with a scriptlet again, and you're going to get rid of the scriptlet, and from scriptlet to scriptlet it will remember what you did. I'm not going to complain about anything. Okay, so again, it was just to show you. We will do more examples like this later on. So for now, we're going to start out with an HTML table, and we're going to use some CSS here as well with 200 pixels, border 1 pixel, solid black. So you may have to remind yourself of your CSS skills, as you will need them for your project. And now here we're going to run a loop. In an HTML table, you use tr to start a new row, table row. So what we will do is every time the loop rotates, we're going to start a new row. And every time we generate a row, we want to multiply x by 5. So this program will generate 10 rows, because the loop is running 10 times. Every row, each row will have a single cell. The width of the cell will be 200 pixels, and you will going to only have a 1 pixel solid black line surrounding the table, because that's what the CSS states. So now when you save the changes and run, make sure you fix this error. I have 2 double quotes here. So now when you run as on server, you will see that it generates one border around in which it lists number 5 through 50. If you right click and go to view source, you will see that it generates a lot of HTML code for you, and you never wrote that much code. So that's what the web server does. And you will also notice one more thing in your source code, that TR and TDs come on different lines, and that is because of println. If you use print, they all will be jumbled up on the same line. Okay, now we will going to add some more details. So let's take this out.println line, which is a single cell, and now we're going to change it to 5 cells. 1, 2, 3, 4, and total of 5. Okay. So what I basically want to do is I want to display to the user that X times five equals, and then this. So I literally want to display X times 5 equals. So anything that I want to leave static, I just left static there. So with this change, when I refresh, here's my new output. So what I will do in the next example, I'll continue this example, but in the next step, I'll bring in nested loops, because we haven't done that yet. And also the concept I was explaining to you earlier in this example, that Scriptlet remembers the code block even if you break out of Scriptlet and goes into HTML, still remembers that you opened something and didn't close it. So it considers everything to be body of that. We're going to now try to test that. So what I'll do is I will generate a table like this. Okay, right now I'm doing it only for number 5, but I want to do it for all the positive numbers 1 through 10. Okay, so I will change this to 12 because I want to display the first 12 multiples for each number. And then I'm going to start my nested loop right here. So I'm going to start out with my nested loop outside here for integer num equals to 1, num less than equals to 10, num plus plus, and I start my loop here. And notice I only started my loop and I broke out of Scriptlet. So this is my outer for loop. Again, outer loop and inner loop don't have to be of the same type. They can be, but they can also be of the different types. Then I start out with my table. Then I have my for loop with all the details. But one thing I will change now. What is one thing that I will change? I don't have 5 anymore. Rather, I will change this to an n. So x times n. Oh, sorry, num. And then similarly, you have, instead of 5, you'll have x times num. Now, after I close my table, I will then close my outer loop. So outer loop closing. So for indenting, you always select something and press the tab on the keyboard, it indents it. So now save the changes and refresh your output. And you will see that you now have many tables. And each table has the first 12 multiples.